What is up, legends? Welcome back to the channel that delivers football predictions with more drama than Neymar's injury record. We have got the most unexpected Champions League final of the decade, Inter Milan versus PSG. One team unfortunately bottled their domestic league and the other one cruised to another League One title. Let's dive into the chaos that led us here. Let's go. Let's start with Inter. The team started the season really strong, leading Serie A for most of the campaign. Fans were dreaming about the Scudetto, but Napoli had other plans. On the final days, Napoli clinched the title, leaving Inter fans wondering what went wrong. And I don't know if you have seen those celebrations in Napoli that's going on right now. It is next level, I can tell you that. Despite the domestic disappointment, Inter found some peace in Europe. Their Champions League semi-final against Barcelona was a thriller, ending 4-3 after extra time. David Fratessi's goal sealed their spot in the final, but let's be honest, the semi-final wasn't without controversy. Barcelona fans were left fuming over referee Simon Martiniak's decisions. Allegations of missed fouls and unawarded penalties led to the trending phrase "No Martiniak, no party," especially in Serie A, them losing the title. I do not want to upset Inter fans, but VAR was completely on Inter's side. They didn't call the ref to look at Gerard Martin's foul that led to the direct winning goal, and on top of that they also didn't see the foul on Lamine Yamal's. Get out of here. Look at this. The first touch was outside the box. Yes, everybody saw that, everybody know it, but it continued inside the box, being the second touch. And here's something interesting that fans are talking about. It's about Mateo Laos, former professional referee, had something to say about the situation. Here's what he said. He clearly fouls him, it's inside. Surely, the assistant also tells the referee it's inside. Beyond that, here we have a contact. We do not know if it's enough or not, but it's also very clear that afterwards there is a second contact that is clearly inside. Why doesn't the referee, the main one, go to the monitor and humbly reconsider which of the two contacts caused, in this case, the fall? And once you see it, you interpret it. Because if we also look at the referee's explanation, he makes a hand gesture indicating it was by very little. He doesn't know. He doesn't know if it was by very little. His colleague is telling him that, but the colleague in the VAR, who is Dutch, doesn't have certainty about which of the contacts the main referee is basing his decision on. And he went on saying, "I don't know if I'm explaining myself well. That's what VAR is for. The VAR should primarily help improve fairness and outcomes in football overall, not just the referee." And that's exactly what my point is. I've heard that Inter fans mentioning that Busquets simulation. I agree, he did simulate there, but that was like 10 years ago. VAR didn't exist. Are we gonna keep moving forward having VAR and still let these things happen? I don't know, man. I mean, why do we have VAR? What's the point of it if they pick their favorite teams and back them and nobody says anything about it? It is what it is, right? I mean, if there was fairness, they should have been like reviewing all of these mistakes and like come up with a solution, like replay the game, replay the last 20 minutes before the mistake happened or something like that. Like, let the history to be written with all these mistakes. It makes no sense to me. And it didn't even matter if Barcelona lost the semi-final. Like, all we wanted was let the best team win and referees and VAR not to intervene to mess up the game in such a tragic fashion. Like, refereeing in that game was a nightmare. I mean, everyone knows that Barca was robbed, but it is what it is. Real Madrid had to pay for it anyway. Barca went on winning their domestic treble. Even in that game, the referees, I don't know who watched that game, but the referees were backing Real Madrid like insane. Boy, but that's for some other day to discuss. So now let's concentrate on the second team. In France, PSG were doing PSG things, winning. They secured their following domestic league title. Ousmane Dembélé topped the scoring charts and Luis Enrique's men looked unstoppable, like literally. And in Europe, PSG's path to the final was equally impressive. They dispatched Liverpool, Aston Villa, and Arsenal, showcasing their strength and depth. I mean, I never was a big fan of PSG, but you can't call them farmers anymore. Like, if they're beating all of your top 5 teams in the Premier League, I mean, Am I right or wrong? Like, at least this season, I don't think we can call them farmers. Like, seriously. And especially if they're gonna go ahead and win the title. And now, the stage is set. Inter Milan versus PSG in the Champions League final. One team seeking redemption, the other aiming for their first European crown. It is gonna be fantastic if they're gonna do it without Mbappé. Like, as soon as Mbappé left, they winning it. Like, it literally what Tottenham did, right? Spurs won the Europa League, their first trophy in such a long time after Harry Kane left. So if something similar is gonna happen with PSG, I mean, it's gonna be interesting. That Mbappé left to Real Madrid to win the Champions League, but they got kicked out, and then now PSG is closer to it. But let's see how it will go. And now the main question in this game is, will Inter's European experience prevail, or will PSG finally break their Champions League curse? That's the main question here. On one side, we have a very well experienced Inter, sleeping giant I would say, who's waking up slowly, and the other side is a newbie in the league trying to win it for the first time. Only time will tell us that, but if you're watching closely and paying attention, then you can definitely notice that it's the year of underdogs. Let's start with Bologna, who defeated Milan in the Coppa Italia and lifted their first ever major trophy. Then comes Newcastle, who defeated Liverpool in the Carabao Cup and lifted the trophy in 70 years? That is crazy. Then comes Spurs out of nowhere and wins the Europa League and get their golden ticket to the Champions League, and that will be the first ever trophy in 17 years. That is insane. So as you can see where I'm going with this, if this trend continues, you probably already know what's gonna happen in this final, right? But if you look at their head-to-head, they had 4 friendlies. 2 of them ended 1-0, same scoreline for PSG. And the other 2, Inter won 2-1. And then the second game, they went to the penalties, and then Inter won that one as well. But they also had an International Championship Cup game, which was like a more official game, where PSG defeated Inter 3-1. And the fun fact is, Inter are facing a Barca legend, Luis Enrique, who won it all with Barcelona, the Champions League, the domestic league. They had the treble there, and obviously played for Barca too. So it can be some, we can expect some revenge for that Barca's lost, I say. I do know that Inter fans do not want to hear this, but it's just something interesting, and it is a fact to, bring up to make things even interesting. So why not? So I'm expecting some fireworks in this final. I really hope it's not gonna be a sleepy game. But if you think about PSG's squad, like, I just cannot imagine seeing them like playing defending or like a boring game. So they're gonna push hard. And we do know Inter's defense is really outstanding. I mean, in the group stage of the Champions League, how many they conceded? 3 goals or something? 1 or 3 goals they conceded. I think it was 1 goal. And that is some insane stat there. So my score prediction for this match is 1-3 for PSG. Sorry, Inter fans, I am backing PSG in this game. And my tip is PSG to score over 1.5 goals, meaning PSG to score 2 or more goals in the game, odds 2.15. And even if you want something simple, then PSG to win with the odds of 2.25 looks really tempting to me. So yeah, legends, that's my pick. Who do you think is gonna lift the trophy? Drop your predictions and comments in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon for more football content. Until next time, keep the football banter alive.